Welcome back. I am Dr. Das here. So today I'll be talking about recurrent stroke, a type of stroke which happens frequently actually. So we'll be talking about what do you mean by recurrent stroke and why does it happen, what are the risk factors of recurrent stroke, and more importantly, can you prevent that from recurrent stroke? As we were discussing in the last videos, why stroke happens and then why it is so emergency conditions, and more importantly, how to recognize a stroke. That's very, very important, because if somebody of your family member or your friends or close one gets a stroke, we need to identify that symptoms, that early sign early, because that's how only you will be able to take help of treatment. And because when you start treatment as early possible, the outcome is good, the chances of improvement is very good. Then also we talk about where we should go if somebody is having a stroke, and specifically about we talked about stroke ready centers where there is a provisions of CT scan or MRI and a neurologist there, so that they can take care of you. So in today's videos, we want to talk about recurrent stroke. So saying recurrent stroke, we mean that somebody is having, say for example, weakness right upper limb. So say for example, I am having weakness in my right hand, that got improved slightly, and after 3 weeks again I am having the same weakness in my same territory of the brain. That means the territory which was involved earlier is again involved after the first attack of 3 weeks, right? So that can we then will say it is a recurrent attack, second attack. Or somebody is having, say for example, right side weakness, then again developed left side weakness just after 24 hours of the first attack, then also we can say it is a recurrent attack or recurrent stroke. So this is the definition wise, and then the most important questions come then why it happens, what are the risk factors that give rise to a recurrent stroke. So if you look into the data which is there, this data is from one of the studies in US actually, and then they found that up to 25% of patients who report in the year or who reports as a stroke patients are having recurrent stroke. That means out of 100 patients, 25 patients are having recurrent stroke actually. So you can find out the magnitude of having so much of recurrence. Somebody is having first attack, the chance of having recurrence of is very high actually, and the chances of having the second attack is very high within the first week of the first attack. Supposedly somebody is having attack today, and then within a few days, like within a week, the chance of having recurrent stroke is very high, and it depends upon what is the underlying cause actually. Somebody is having some atherosclerotic plaques in the arteries which supplies the brain, and so these plaques got disrupted, and the clot can go into the brain and can give rise to recurrent stroke in the same territory or in the different territory. Similarly, someone is having problem in the heart. So major heart problem which can give rise to stroke is as I said, heart is not pumping in a regular manner. If the heart is not pumping in a regular manner, there is the tendency to form clot in the heart itself, and which this clot can go up and can give rise to stroke. Similarly, the heart is not pumping in its proper strength. It's a medical term, it's called cardiomyopathy. So normally around 50-60% ejection fraction, say means out of 100 ml it ejects out around 60 ml. So if there is a decrease in this power of pumping, so can give rise to clot formations in the heart itself and can give rise to stroke. So these are the common usual causes can happen. Similarly, some infections in the heart or some valvular problem in the heart can give rise to clot formations. So if we want to discuss about prevention and treatment of recurrent stroke, so that comes the role of medicine, pharmacological treatment. So you have in one hand you have a pharmacological treatment, the medicine which is being prescribed by your specialist doctors, and then you have non-pharmacological things like your behavioral changes, your other activities where there is a significant reductions of risk of a stroke, and this really helps also. So the drugs which will be there, we need to take it very regularly, that's no doubt about that one, because that will prevent your clot formations and recurrent stroke as well. So you shouldn't stop your medicines like, say for example, blood thinners or anticoagulations which has been given prescribed by your doctors without consulting them. because that's really increases chances of stroke actually. And similarly, the medicines which is for cholesterol lowering drugs called statins. So other than these medicines, I will talk about something about non-pharmacological things which you can do. Somebody is having mild stroke in the form like TIA, as I mentioned earlier. So physical activity is very important as a primary prevention or secondary preventions. Saying physical activity, we mean that nowadays our life is so busy from morning to evening, but still you should find out some time, at least 25 to half an hour in a day and 5 days in a week, and go for at least brisk walk or jogging or some outdoor activities in the form like you can go for playing some sort of tennis, badminton, TT, whatever you like. So go for that, play. You will enjoy the body will get the circulations proper actually, and then same thing for the brain. So this is very important. Getting the physical activity is very crucial for your good health actually. That will keep your mind fresh. You will be able to concentrate proper way. You will be able to walk proper way, and that's going to help you actually. Similarly, coming to this diet, so we want to talk about diet, very important here, because you see in our current lifestyles, we work more in front of laptops and sitting all day and night. So there is very less physical activity. On the other hand, we are taking very rich food. So the sedentary life and the high rich food that give rise to bad habit increases the chances of obesity formations, and then that can give rise to more of a metabolic sort of syndrome, we call in medical term, and which can predispose to cholesterol plaques formations in the wall of the artery, and that can predispose to stroke. So this is the physical activity, then diet, and then also the stress and smoking. So smoking, definitely we need to stop, because we already having so much of passive smoking because of pollutions and other things. So we should not increase any more chance by smoking anymore. If we talk about stress, stress is something we get every day. This has become part and parcel of our life. Everybody gets stress, of course, but the way to de-stress yourself, or some sort of stress busting activity needs to be so if you go for a walk or jogging, so that helps in reducing your stress as well. If you like to go for meditations, you can do that. That's going to help you actually. Similarly, you should share your any thoughts which you feel that you're disturbing yourself, that should be shared with your close ones, and that's really make you relax and then feel better. So these are the things which is there for the non-pharmacological things in brief actually. And if you want to know in detail, so I've in my previous video also shared what are the things we can do to make ourselves fit and fine, especially the non-pharmacological things. So in short, so this is all about recurrent stroke, why it does happen, so when you say it's a recurrent stroke, and what are the risk factors, and how we can help ourselves to prevent for this one, other than the medicine and all other stuffs. So I think this video going to help you to know few more things about stroke, recurrent stroke especially. If you like my video, don't forget to like down. We care for you.